This is pretty funny. I'm hunting spring black bears, and just to show you how high in elevation I am, straight across from me at the same level as a mountain goat. I might need to go down the mountain a little bit. That's awesome.
It ain't hard to figure why Lewis and Clark thought they were seeing white bears when they first spotted mountain goats. But for black bear, Laramy needs to head down to lower terrain that's more inviting for Bruins. A bear's track, like a man's.
This is bed.
The bear's hardly a tidy housekeeper, so there's usually plenty of sign to show that he's been living there in his comfortable bed.
There's some more sign. He's in here close somewhere.
Contrary-wise, black bears cause more harm than grizzlies, and sometimes a good knife is all there is to keep a mountain man alive.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this steel and we're gonna make damascus to make a knife. And what damascus is it's a lot harder, more compressed, and it's got really cool markings in it to where you can see the layers. I feel happy. It's always awesome to learn new things.
The beating heart of a reliable blade is a matter of going at it, hammer and tong.
It actually halfway looks like a knife now.
Back on the mountain, Sasquatch may have a bear in his field glasses, but getting to him may take some considerable doing.
It looks like a nice big black boar.
It's a bear not likely to stand around, though, being ready to see what's over the mountain.
That bear's about 100 yards right here.
Laramy Sasquatch Miller is in pursuit of black bear, and he means to have a trusty blade with him as he follows the tracks of bears just out of the den, on the move and hungry for food after a long winter. As Laramy hunts, the weather turns, winter reluctant to let go without a fight. Through the clouds and rain, Sasquatch keeps his binocular on the bear across the canyon.
Well, I spotted a nice big black boar, but as always, he's about 2 miles as a crow flies all the way across the canyon, way up towards the top of the ridge. There ain't no way I'll get to him tonight. Have to see what old Mother Nature throws at us tomorrow. We've had rain, snow, a little bit of sunshine mixed in. I guess she's trying to keep me on my toes.
Laramy's got to call it a day as the evening spreads out like a black buffalo robe. Tonight, as he lies wrapped in his bedroll, he'll try to sleep without dreaming too much about Big Bear.
Oh, I got a bear spotted straight across the canyon over here. He's about 450 yards probably.
There's nothing for it but to get closer, despite the decided risk of riling up a big bruin. Arguably the most famous tale of a mountain man was that of Hugh Glass, a fur trapper. Glass hadn't reckoned on stumbling onto a grizzly who relieved him of his Hawken and began chawing on him, meaning to feed him to her cubs. Glass fought back with his knife, all while vicious claws tore at his body. He managed to kill the bear, but almost didn't survive his fellow trappers. They saw him as done for and laid him unconscious in a shallow grave, then went their way. Glass came to 2 days later with nothing but his torn clothes, a broken leg, and his bare rib showing through his side. He fashioned a rough wooden splint for his leg, and, surviving off berries and scavenged meat, he began the 200-mile crawl to civilization. Upon reaching the Cheyenne River, he assembled a crude raft and used the waterway to float to the safety of Fort Kiowa. Hugh Glass went on trapping furs until unfriendly Indians killed him 10 years later, finishing the job started by old Ephraim. Now Laramy moves down the mountain, keeping the bear in his sight and on his mind.
Well, I decided to move down the mountain just in case that bear decides to come down. He's hanging pretty tight. He's right on a bluff to where there's no way to get above him with the way the wind is right now. And there's really no way to get at him from below because the wind's blowing straight up, so. I guess it's another waiting game. Sit here and watch, see if he comes down the mountain, or maybe the wind will switch and I can at least make an attempt. Looks like a good bear.
That bear's about 100 yards right here.
It's spring, and the snows have left the mountains, and the bears have left their dens where they lay through the winter. Laramy Miller is out here with his Hawken on the trail of bear meat and hide, and he's spotted what could be a good one. This bear has the ear marks of a big boar that could be worth closer inspection. So Laramy decides to pull up stakes and see if he can make his way across the canyon. As Laramy stalks, he makes sure he's keeping his eye on the bear. A big black bear is nothing to take lightly, and Laramy remembers the story of Hugh Glass. So with only a single bullet in his rifle, a good knife is a genuine comfort.
This is a knife that I started making a while back. And as you can tell, it's really got some really cool markings. It's Damascus steel. And what I got is I got me a shed horn that I found, and I'm gonna cut this top part off and I'm gonna use that as my handle. All that's left is to carve the inside of that out. so that knife tang sits right down in there. And then I'll drill out my 3 holes for my rivets. I'll have me a nice, beautiful Damascus knife.
To smooth out the edges and make that handle look like one solid piece of antler, Laramy uses hide glue as a filler.
Got it filled in pretty good for now. I'm gonna let it dry and harden, and then I'll do the same thing again tomorrow, and then sand it all down and make it look pretty. Well, as you can tell, that hide glue dried really good. So now I'm just gonna sand it down and get it nice and smooth. And that'll be it for now. Pretty dang cool. Makes you feel good when you take something. This was just a hunk of metal when it was started. Now look at it.
Getting closer to the bear, it's good to know a knife is never unloaded.
I think the biggest challenge of this whole thing is going to be figuring out how to get across the dang river.
Laramy has a serious obstacle in his path, and he needs to find a place to cross the river. It's time for Laramy to do his tightrope walking act over a roaring river. As they say, don't try this at home. Sasquatch can do it because he's plumb crazy.
That bear's about 100 yards right here.
It's springtime, and the snows have gone off the mountains. For Laramy Miller, that means it's time to be out in the woods with his Hawken, looking for bears that are hunting for breakfast after a winter spent denned up. To get to the bear's side of the river, Laramy's bridge is a treacherous log. This is where you don't want to look down. One slip, and you're chum for trout. You'd like to say the hard part's over, but there's still the matter of a rather large black bear that needs to be tracked down.
Just be as quiet as you possibly can.
That bear's about 100 yards right here. was just right up here. I don't know where that bear went, but I think he smelled me. He probably just eased off that old butt. I'm gonna go see.
When it comes to bear, they can hear you 3 times, see you twice, but only smell you once before lighting out for the territories.
I don't know where that bear went. The only thing I can figure, I should have seen it go out the other side. Maybe it's a big sow that's got cubs right there. That's the only thing I can figure, and there's a den right there in that hill. Otherwise, I should have seen it go out the other side or feed through or something. It disappeared.
All Laramy can do is pussyfoot around and hope that if it comes down to it, he finds the bear before the bear finds him. Here's the den where the bear, or bears, has been bedded down.
There's a den right there. I'll about guarantee you that bear went inside that den. And I never got a good look to make sure it was a boar. It was big enough to be a boar, but that don't mean it was a boar. And the last thing I'm gonna do is go sneak in that den and have to shoot a sow out of self-defense and orphan a couple cubs, so. I could probably have my bear dead right now, but I'm not gonna risk that. There's plenty of other bears on the mountain.
Laramy leaves the bear, boar, or sow to its own as night comes down.
Well, I didn't want to talk too much while I was up there, but that was pretty crazy. This stuff is so loud to walk in. You got all sorts of uneven rocks, you got sticks in between. Everywhere you step, there's a pop, ping, whatever. Well, we made it to about 80 yards from that bear. That's pretty dang good. Unfortunately, the bear was bedded down and never really had a good shot. I mean, I probably could have shot it, but wouldn't have been an ethical shot. Plus, I was never 100% certain that that was a boar. If it was a sow, it was a big sow, but all I know is it went inside a den right below where it was bedded down. I could have went and looked inside that den, and a few years ago I might have, but I got a family, and that could be a family, and the last thing I want to do is orphan a couple cubs. So, and with the old black powder rifle, it might have been some hand-to-hand combat. But there's plenty of other bears in the woods, so I'm gonna head down and hit her hard again tomorrow.
For Laramy Miller, the hunt for mountain black bear goes on.